Good morning, folks. How are my family, my buddies, my pals, my friends? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the private group Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness, named after my book, Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness, an Akashic Records Guide to Living a Fulfilled Life. And this is where I take your questions on Facebook, written in the comments on Facebook, and then I channel answers for you. And I just get to see all my best people showing up here. Good morning, Chris Bersati and David Marshall's here. Oh my goodness, I'm so pleased. Happy New Year. It is upon us. Good morning, Sin Champagne. I haven't heard from you for a long time. Nice to see you. Happy New Year. I am so looking forward to hearing your questions and being with you. Anubis at the 7:30 um, event, a live video event, channeled some really interesting things about the energy of 2025 and ways to stay centered and sound in on your path and all that kind of stuff. Don't mind me, I'm grooming myself in here in the video. Jiminy crickets. Um, but Anubis was so specific about how to manage all of this stuff. There are going to be some real highs and some very deep lows. And the thing is not to like kind of take it personally. Good morning, Karen Shine. Yay, yay. How you doing? Um, to, they said, Anubis said not to take it too personally. I mean, not to get stuck in it and to actually ask yourself, is this happening to me or is this somebody else's interpretation of reality? Do I have to join in that belief or can I just stay myself? Um, so don't get too swept up in things that really aren't relevant for you. Uh, I am looking at Facebook to see I win, Ray. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm having fun in my faux fur. It just, I gotta wear it, you guys. I'm really a ham. And so sometimes my little ham has to come out and get some attention. So she likes to dress for it. Happy New Year, Chris. Um, I want to know what you all need to know. You can ask questions in the comments, and you can ask about your health, your finances, your romances. You can ask about relationships. You can ask about soul and spiritual connection. You can ask about anything. And the energy is really rocking today, so feel free. And they got me up at about, well, I was awake at about 2:30 in the morning, but I didn't get out of bed until about 4:30. I tried to go back to sleep, but unsuccessfully. And so I said, okay, I'm up. And my guides are writing the outline for the Living as Your Soul writing workshop that starts January 14th. So I'm really, really excited about that. It's based on the book, my book, Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness. And in here, chapter 15 is called Living as Your Soul. And usually there's like 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 questions in the book, but in 15, there's 23. And what you're supposed to do is open your records, read the chapter, and then write your responses while your records are open because your perception is very much expanded and different when you are in your own soul's Akashic records. And you write the answers to the questions. And you can write the answers in the Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness Companion Journal. And Yeah, there you go. Oh, and keep all your Akashic records information in one place because it's really good idea to write your experiences down in your Akashic records because the understanding may be pretty simple, but it is profound. And the energy that goes with it is really heavy. It's like this is where you really rock. And you can really get in tune with your soul and with the divine. So I want you to have the wonderful, wonderful experience that I have when I'm in my Akashic records or in your Akashic records when I do a reading for you. Um, so, but what are your questions? I need to know what you want to know. Um, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what Anubis was saying. My channel, I don't have a lot of great precise memory about what happened so much as how it felt, but it felt at both at the same time it was both very hopeful and expansive and like we're making a big leap forward and 2025 big promise for us to make strides in our spiritual well-being and our spiritual growth and our physical well-being. And there are going to be some really low lows, but that's because if we get trapped into listening to like mainstream news and stuff like that, it's not going to help. It's not going to make it enlighten us. It's not going to make riding the waves of highs and lows any easier. And the guides are always very practical, whether it's the Akashic beings of light, your masters, teachers, and loved ones in a reading, or your soul. They're always very positive and they always give you uplift or validation or solutions that are practical and applicable. Not like, you have to put your elbow in your ear, activate your 17th chakra on the 42nd plane of existence and dimension of life, and, something that you can't do. They really make it practical. Like, so you can really live the the information and the energy that you're getting from your Akashic records. So just look at it again to see if anybody wrote an actual question in. I'm ready for questions. Sometimes it takes some minutes for Facebook to put them in here live. Um, and or I can read them. But Patricia and Pat Hansen's here. Thank you, sweetie pie. How are you? I'm so excited. This is going to be a good year. So, what Anubis was saying this morning on the 7:30 live event on my personal page on Facebook was that our ability to embody our soul's light, maintain our center, and really use our discernment in whether or not somebody's pitching a form of reality that we don't really believe, or they're looking for agreement, or they're stating it like it's a fact, and that's, I've got to just accept it. And even see if that matches up with who you are, who your soul is, what you know to be true about life on the planet and consciousness in general. So, consciousness in general is a lot more forgiving, fluid, changeable, um, and it's not stuck in the some fixed ideas. So consciousness can be a lot easier on us than some of the human interpretations about what the nature of reality really is, right? And we're creative beings, and for all the years I've been doing readings, and I'm talking, this is like my 36th year of doing readings, or maybe it's longer than that. Getting very old when I'm not numbering things in the 30s. Um, so the guides are always making it very clear that we are at choice and we have inner wisdom and we are connected to our souls and to the divine always 24/7 in any kind of condition. If you think you're hopeless and lost, they might think you're in great shape. You know, there's a whole chapter called Going South in Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness that really says, listen, we love it when you're all disordered and like that because you're teachable. You know? You're open, you're willing to step out of your control box and be here's some new suggestions. And they also were affirming this morning on the meditation that we have the discernment. We can say even what was being presented in the live channeling. You know, if you don't, we honor that. You get to have what you understand to be true. It doesn't have to be negotiable, you know. But you will find that you're going to have to flex in life here in 2022 because it's going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. So the more we can stay connected with the divine, indwelling divine within here, with its true spiritual heart, and embodying in your soul's light, you know, that's where the rubber meets the road. And honoring yourself in that way and knowing what you know. They often say, no, give power and authority to what you know, because what you know you've learned through years of experience. Most of us, you know, who are on this group in this group are not young. We're not beginners. We've been around the block a bit and we've had some experiences and we've had to do some serious soul searching and inner work to find peace, to make peace with some of the things that happened to us. So, you know, you earned it, all right? They didn't talk about it this morning, but it's been coming up more lately that we're going to remind ourselves that we can grow through joy. We don't have to grow through torturous, difficult, painful situations. That's not always required. You know, mistakes don't have to be, you know, let's beat myself up sessions, but like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to take a step back, regroup, and see what worked and what didn't. And what do I need to change? What do I need to let go so that it's not so painful? And usually it's my resistance that's painful. Adjusting camera just a wee bit there. So let's see. All right. Let's go. Chris Brusati, can you address the accelerated energy we are experiencing? Yes, ma'am. I tell you, um, on the 30th, I woke up and I felt like I got shot out of a cannon. And it felt really busy and it was a little much to handle. Um, and thank God I went out in the redwoods with my best friend and my sister, and we channeled Mother Earth. And uh, that's something my best friend and I are doing together is we're channeling Mother Earth and assembling some information from those channelings. And Marie Lane, that's nice to see you here. All right, so that this is a preview. All right, let me just bring in Anubis again. Greetings and welcome from Anubis. It is a pleasure to be with you today, and it is an honor and it is a privilege for us to share with you any nuggets of information and all kinds of nuggets of energy. So, yes, about the 29th of December, the energy started speeding up and really hit home the 30th and 31st and somewhat today as well. So you may find yourself being a little bit sleep deprived or having to work extra hard to maintain your focus and not get diverted into the unimportant things that are not on your mission for that day. And it is important for you to align yourself with divine will as you operate in this higher, uh, faster energy. Um, this also means that you can create things much more speedily and bring through changed energy because the energy has already changed that you're receiving in your environments now. So don't resist it. You have to go with it. If you accept it, it'll be a much more pleasant and easy ride. It's and you can stay centered in your soul's light, in your embodied soul's light and consciousness, and make the adjustments to your responses there. So if you do this, if you try to stop it, no, 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 you're going to get resistance back. You're going to get stuckness. So as you say, yes, 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 bring it on. I've been asking for 50 years now. They're saying since the 70s, humanity has been asking for change and to trying to operate in an energetic sense to bring about change. And that intention, that focus, that wide idea that you can create from within, you can create from pure consciousness, and see it in your outer experience of reality has been transmitted around the globe. So it is really got some traction nowadays. So be aware of what you want. And it better be something you really like in your awake, aware. Is this good for me and good for my community, my family, my brethren, my sisters? Is this good for us? Then apply that feeling of want, create, desire, energize. It also is an excellent time to let go of things. Any thoughts that are you're not good enough, you'll never get it, you can, you're not you don't have what it takes, uh, you got to be learn more to in order to function at the top level to full potential. Any of those thoughts that are fitting of that nature, just chase them off. They're they're nosy little flies. They aren't worth your time. They aren't worth your attention. They aren't worth any consciousness on your own. And the good news is that it's as if there's a big wind and it just takes that away. It just is easy to let go. Many people are having success using the healing prayer, and I'll put that up here. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, I'm not super good at electronics when I'm in the energies. That is not going up there. Sorry. I'll be putting it up later. If Marco's watching, I would ask him to do it. In the comments. So right now, so any information, the accelerated energy that we are experiencing. Picture yourself riding in a convertible rid of speedboat where the air is fresh and it's alive and the sun is sparkling and you feel confident and you're in the moment, not worried about anything. You're feeling completely at peace and very, very positive. That's the state of being that you want to bring to this accelerated energy. It's wind. It's going to blow over your face, blow your hair all over the place. And you might not look good in the process, but you're having a great time. So the more that you can approach life with curiosity, better things will be. Now, if you're in the depths, embody your soul's light, really connect with your soul and its light. It is so accessible now. And if you don't know how to embody your soul's light, go to my YouTube page and find um, there's a couple of instructive videos on how to embody your soul's light. They're very complete. And that would be really instructive and practice it so you can put it, put in your step into your soul's light when you're at the gas station or when you're filling up the gas tank. And I don't have it, but other people. Good morning, Diane Dobson. Hello, hello. So embody your soul's light. It naturally connects you to the divine because the divine is in you, in your soul, in everything that you can look, see, feel, hear, touch, even in the spaces between the molecules. The divine is there. In the spaces between your cells, the divine is there. And she loves open to receive from your soul, from the divine, from your spiritual team. If you know how to open your records, receive the help that you can have from your masters, teachers, and guides. Light who are casting a broad cone of light and assistance. And let them give you a hand. Let them love you in whatever condition you are in. And there is much more energy coming to us through the back side of our bodies, through our heart centers, and out being to be channels of acceptance. Does not have a lot of rules. Sure, this will come up again. Are there? Oh, Pat always asks these interesting questions. Any possibility for volcanic activity in the continental U.S. in 2025? Yes. 3 places Alaska, California, and I don't know geography. There's no state on uh, identifying in terms of location. Mount Rainier in Washington, California. There may be some activity in Mount Lassen or Mount Shasta. And very far south in this region. So to Los Angeles. And this is the shakeup. This is shakeup. No much of what we have accepted and become accustomed to as reality is being shaken up now. We need to look with new eyes. We need to check the energy and everything. Um, is it for me, against me? Is it, is it something that activates fear in me, or does it activate love, confidence, and contribution, and desire to contribute? Is this the energy for me? And knowing when to disengage attachments can be. Now, some of us need the stability and the depth of attachments so that you don't just fly up into the great beyond. But others experience them as heavy and as holding back, dragging anchor, as if carrying a heavy. And so it's not an upliftment. It is not helpful. Um, I'm asking Anubis to tell me whether the volcanoes may be active what times of the year. First one is January. Lesson. That may also trigger later on February or March Shasta. There's also a river of volcanic lava far deep underneath the Earth's crust that connects these three mountains to Mount Rainier, or two mountains to Mount Rainier, and it's they are almost of a family. They're almost they're connected. They're familiar. They are from the same source point, which is Mother Earth, but it's they interacted with one another for eons, for time immemorial. So they are connected that way. Um, they, so Rainier looks to be more like June, July, and Southern California would be later on. They're saying November. That's what I'm looking at. Volcanic activity. So, who has another question? I love to hear these questions. They're so good. Your questions stimulate the channeling. And so they really are invited. They are welcome. You can ask the regular stuff. Am I going to have is there a love in my life, or, um, am I going to have a breakthrough about finances? all that kind of stuff. It's fine. Those are realistic in a lot of way questions because if it's happening in your life, it's of importance to you, and therefore it is of importance to me and the guides. They want us to be happy, healthy, whole, have what you need, supported. They really, they're here for us. So whatever they can do to assist. Now, as I work more with the attributes and qualities of the soul, I'm learning that, simplicity is part of it. And so this highly commercialized materialistic world that I live in anyway, here in California, um, in the middle class, it's a buy this and your life will be so great. If I get this pair of jeans or this t-shirt, my life will be better. That's the thing. That's the hook. That's what I'm being sold. And it's not necessarily true. Good morning, Milena. How nice to see you. Um, uh, as we go to enter to the look good, the, the materialistic identity. And I mean, here I am, I'm sitting in my faux fur and wearing my diamond. And I got, I'm there. And I love things that sparkle. I love sparkle. If I had my way, if I felt confident in wearing sequins or satin all the time, I would. But that's that's that. It doesn't matter. All right. So I am looking for another question. I'm gonna best time for me for time frame for me to move, please. Well, June, because it's the best time to sell your property if that's what you intend to do. Um, but also if you're moving to an area that gets some snow, it will have things will have thawed. Could be late May, but it's the energy's there for June. It's really it's very much more for about June. Um, make sure you are moving toward yourself, not away from yourself. Just the way you put that. As do we love everyone here listens to this or even is curious, love you just the way all of your foibles and all of your wants and desires. That's just fine. You're fine with us. Okay. Chris Brusati said, oh, let me just get Diane Dobson. She was in here first. Are you part of or familiar with the 4 a.m. club? Thousands woke up between 3 to 4 the night of the election where they were calling a great awakening, and many feel that a lot will be this revealed this month by way of who really won, if you know what I mean. Are you getting that too? Very interesting thing to look at. Just have a sip of water. Then welcome from Anubis. We'll be fielding this question. And the answer is yes. And the energy that is here, that speeded up energy, is also about revelations, peeling off the layers, um, disclosing hidden issues, secrets on all sides, all around us and within us. Even amongst the beings of light and guides, there is revelation happening, an awakening happening, an enlargement happening, a consciousness shift upwards, outwards, more focus. So it is happening on earth, it's happening with humans, it's happening with spiritual beings, it is happening at the soul level, it is happening on a grander level than that. Um, The divine has upped her game. And as the great creatress says in the book, channeled in the book Bringing Forceful Consciousness, the divine has shifted her creativity to only creating love and destruction, decay, uh, release, removal, revelations, all contribute to revealing a deeper and deeper loving presence of the divine. And constantly remind yourself that the divine has the power. Not all these humans have scurried about, or the ones who have amassed the greatest money or power. All of that is a facade, a facade. All of that is the charade. All of that is shadows and light boxing behind the screen. All of that is Punch and Judy. If you're of that age group, you understand what I'm referring to. And drama is what drives your televised entertainment, even the entertainment you call news. And opinion. Be selective about what opinions you buy into. You have choice. Check to see if there is truth in the energy. If you use a pendulum, ask the pendulum, is this true? Is this false? See what you get. If you have that inner knowingness, ask your inner knowingness, is this, am I getting a yes or am I getting a no? Is this useful? Is it not useful? You choice, always put yourself in choice. And you reach for and connect with the divine so that you are connected to the one source of power. There aren't two powers, there aren't three powers, there aren't four powers. There's one power, the divine. So every century and very often every decade, there is a great awakening. And Diane Dobson, you have the wisdom of experience on your side. And if you look back over the decades in your life, you can probably go through and name the great awakenings in the 50s, the great awakenings in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s. So we measure it that way. And the great awakening of the Industrial Revolution. And then the Great Awakening that we've poisoned ourselves with the Industrial Revolution. Awakening that we need to be respectful of the life forms. We're not the dominators, and we are the stewards of this planet. And we work in cahoots with the divine. I think some of the perceptions in your comment or your question, Diane, also has to have to do with the attaching self to something monumental, like an election in a country, in order to ride on the coattails of that. energy, that consciousness, that to become part of. And how important is it? I think it's for you to say to yourself. In my experience, the Great Awakening at 3 Annie personally, I'm speaking for myself, Annie personally, when I awaken at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's usually not to be the most positive person on the planet. It's usually when I find myself least able to defend myself against my mind, saying, well, don't you remember when you forgot to feed the dog for an entire weekend? You're a teenager and you're an awful person for doing that, and you should apologize to the dog and try to ask for forgiveness. And you should probably make this a really bad day so that you can experience the guilt and regret for doing that. And, like that's what's usually showing up in my mind at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, and is it 3 o'clock in the morning everywhere? Maybe at 3 o'clock in the morning in California, it's 7, 8, 6 a.m. On the East Coast, that sort of thing. So I don't even know what the difference time differential is between us and China or London or like that. Um, and a reminder that here in the United States, we're not the be all and end all of human society. So some humility is always welcome. Okay. If the other side is going to say they won, they're going to have to do it in a way that doesn't look like by the previous, the former president did in 2020, like stage of revolt. It has to look very, very common sense to maintain the Democratic base. And it seems that the Republicans have given permission to everyone to be even nasty. Um, it's all right to even out. Chris Brasadi says, sounds like consciousness consuming, conscious consuming. I hear the words necessities, needs, wants, and likes. Yes, absolutely. Conscious consuming. Am I consciously consuming violence? Am I consciously consuming packaged foods that don't agree with my physical health? Am I consciously consuming drama for entertainment? Am I consciously consuming that encourage desperation, fear, disorder, um, disenfranchisement? Am I consciously consuming love, possibility, hope, peace? In terms of simplicity, slow speaks pretty simply, much as Chris has stated here in this um, share. I hear the words necessities, needs, wants, and likes. You know, there that is often the way the guides or someone speak to you. Very simply, so that it's not overly complex. Because our minds have a field day with complexities. Oh, is it this? Is it that? Can I add this in? And was that? And what if I get it wrong? Then we could go down that rabbit hole. And bye-bye. We're gone for a long time. So the simplicity, the purity of necessities, you know, do I really need that physical thing? I have a perfectly good running car. Yes, it's 10 years old. It's not even 100,000 miles. Nothing wrong with it. Still great, cheap to run, got good gas mileage, low maintenance. Um, do we want to buy an electrical car? Well, kinda, yeah. However, is it worth mining materials and so forth? Is that get an electric car? Maybe that doesn't pan out. Doesn't balance out in my experience. Hi, Peter Fairfield. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. So let's see. Man, the Happy New Year. Hello back to you, love. Nice to see you. It's been a while. So Diane said, regarding the wake up, many spiritual folks are saying that because so many had the same awakening that night, it was putting us in a new timeline and that we're in the rise of the divine feminine. So the patriarchy will come to crumble. Yeah, though the divine feminine is definitely on the rise, and I think it started a few years ago. I think that there have been some people who were on the early edge of this about 10, 12, 14 years ago, 15 years ago. In my experience, they started worshiping the goddess, and it felt so awkward to me at that time. But then when I was channeling this book for soul consciousness, the guide started talking about the divine being the great creatress. The Akashic beings of light call the divine feminine the great creatress. And she is the queen bee. She's the power. She is the top, top God. She's the one and who has cooked up this whole thing. And the quite a few years ago, about 30 years ago, I saw a series of videos about the feminine and how in early human history we worshiped the goddess, and she had big pendulous breasts and big wide childbearing hips, and she wasn't a slim Jim that looked good in a bikini. She's a completely different message of fertility and fecundity and femininity and life giving, and that through time. And in my experience, it was when men understood that sperm determined whether or not a woman got pregnant and became a child. And then it was, well, I'm not taking care of that other guy's. Watch me, I'm going to take care of mine and not share. And then it was the rise of the masculine gods, and men being leaders of countries and communities, and women being fathers. So, yes, it is important that we acknowledge the femininity, or at least a feminine side of the divine, the possibility of feminine. Trying to do that in a life-affirming way, not in competition, not through comparison, not through body type or frivolous look good. Um, yes, Diane, I totally agree with you. It's definitely the rise of the and so does it really matter what governments are doing? The rise is happening anyway. It is happening and the energy is flowing here and it will be recognized over time, probably slowly, perhaps not as fast as we would like it. We have to learn to make our own inner adjustments because most of us were raised during the patriarchy. And we are, I know I am conditioned deeply by patriarchy. And it's that it's a very different experience. But now it's what I'm able to take on at 66 to step into my feminine health and my alignment with the divine feminine and assert or assert that possibility, that option. And I am open to whatever you find, any of you find is your version of it. I, you can be that version of inner divine. A circle versus triangles energy, community versus hierarchy. Ah, well put, Chris Brusati. Well put. Uh, I mean, there's breathing in that. There aren't sharp corners. There's flow in a circle of energy and community. Connection. Connection does feel circular or fluid, or for me, a lot of times the energy is in the the symbol of infinity. You know, a horizontal 8. Sometimes it's vertical, but that's how the energy flows. I can't get my finger to do it the same way if I'm looking at myself, and I have to close my eyes and do that. Get finger motion right. Um, sure, you're absolutely right. Diane Dobson says, yes, what Chris said, because Pluto into Aquarius now. Well, exactly. I'm not an astrologer, and I really appreciate the fact that some other people, astrologers, they can bring forth that information because in my world, it's potent. It's something to pay attention to. We are affected by the astrology that's going on. We're affected by the shifts in the moon phases, and we're affected by the planetary locations and characteristics. So, okay, let's see. I think we're coming to the end here. Are there any last questions? I go ahead and refresh my page because sometimes the questions show up that way. Of we the people. Yes, Diane, Pluto and Aquarius is beginning the process. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And it is not to say men aren't good or valuable. I love them. They're very different from me, and I can't expect them to be my girlfriends because my girlfriends juice me in one way, and I love men. They're so willing to help. They're so willing to chip in. They're so willing to expend their efforts and energy to make life better. They're so willing to get that thing off the high shelf or pick up the coffee at the store today because I'm busy. They're so willing to serve and help them make their lives easier. They're willing to provide. They're built for providing and protecting, and we have to appreciate that. The divine's love floats all boats. It's given to everyone, everywhere. The rich and the poor, the just and the unjust, the sick and the well. You know, the divine love floats all boats. And there is no better or worse thing. We have to work the companionship and partnership because we can't say women are better and men are bad. That that's just the other version of domination, victim, dominator, victim. Flip it upside down. Oh, no, women are dominators, men are the victims. You know, let's stop that racket. That's not getting any. There's no cheese down that racket tunnel. We're not going there. We've done it long enough. It's partnership, it's companionship, it's appreciation for both important differences. Let's expand to include opportunity. Expand to include the male perspective and the female perspective, and see that there, if our awareness is bigger than the two opposites, awareness is bigger than the two opposites, then it can be inclusive of both, and there's room in the middle for third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth, and seventh, and eighth options in between, instead of either or. Stepping out of the duality and looking for what are the options? They do exist. The answer is yes. It's not about better than, but rather equal to. Finally, yes. And personally, one of my goals for this year is to assist in getting the Equal Rights Amendment passed. It's actually on Biden's radar, and if we get him to sign it before he leaves office, then it will be exist, and this will help that in the Constitution. That I think will allow us to actually vote in as president. That's it for my BF big flippin' opinion. I want to thank you all for your consciousness, for your beingness, for your conversation, for your participation, for playing in my sandbox, playing and letting me play in your sandbox. I love you. And thank you ever so much. Have a welcome. Thank you, my YouTube friends. Thank you for being here. You are the light of my life. Thank you.